Hello guys, how are you? We are back for another update right before we get hit with this first eclipse in Sagittarius coming up this week. There has been a lot going on, so we are going to dive into all of it, and if we feel like it, maybe we'll dive into some cards too, just because it's fun and I love it. So basically what we've been moving through as a collective is we have been going through and clearing all of our past life karma, all of our past lives period. So this can be why some people have been experiencing like suicidal thoughts, suicidal tendencies, feeling super dark, super depressed, kind of in this hole, because they're clearing all of the negativity, all of that shadow energy from the past lives. And it's almost like when we're moving through this, we don't know why we feel so terrible. We do not know why we feel so bad, so lost, so scared, so, self-critical. All of these tendencies that may have shown up in this current lifetime, but are more exacerbated now with this time because they're connected to past lives as well, have been showing up for us as a means of totally and completely clearing our sacral chakra, which stores the karmic energy and the DNA of that karmic energy, or the DNA mutations of that karmic energy. So bloating, nausea, irregular menses, and just feeling burned out, uninspired, unmotivated, totally in this energy. And we are also going to be purging during this phase the sort of polar energies of Sagittarius, Gemini, and Pisces. So this would be like escapism, addiction, and gossip, indecisiveness, not being able to feel confident, courageous, and on the other hand, also feeling overly confident, overly concerned about the self and no one else, and also feeling too concerned about everyone else and not yourself. So there's a lot of different energies coming through and that we're going to be releasing. This is a huge release. It's almost like everything is getting out of our way to clear this pathway for us to be able to see where we're going clearly. A lot of us have remained in this fog and in this kind of haze because we've been clearing some karma, clearing some old timelines, and those new timelines aren't yet completely anchored. This is anchoring them. This is wild card energy, so expect some big shakeups and some big shifts. There's Green Tara coming through really strongly for the collective during this time, and she's helping cut cords with anything and everyone that's no longer aligned with where we're going. So friendships taking random detours, or maybe needing to end some relationships and friendships. Like if the people you are not around are not lifting you up and encouraging you, they don't see you clearly, they aren't showing up for you in the way that you envision your tribe and your soul family showing up for you, it's time to release them and let them go. Make sure that you are examining yourself and the role that you've played in that dynamic in the relationship before just cutting people off. But if it's been a long-standing issue and it continues to pop up, because we do have Mercury retrograde during this time as well, and Saturn retrograde as well. So where are you settling, and where have you in your relationships in particular? Gemini is the Lover's card. It rules relationships and partnerships of all kinds, so business partnerships, friendships, and romantic partnerships and relationships. We're also looking at home and family relationships for this as well. Home and family and the relationship dynamic to the masculine and the feminine are going to be coming strongly into this practice. And into this placement of this time. A lot of people have been in limbo with career, or they're in a career and they just don't see it sort of moving anywhere. They don't see it like being this long-term thing. They don't know what's coming next. They don't know what to do next. Maybe they've quit their job, like we've talked about in the last video, a lot of transitions when it has to do with the job. And this is directly correlated to the root chakra. So we're going to be dealing with root chakra, sacral chakra, throat chakra, and the third eye during this period of time. And when it comes to the home and the family, how this comes into play, especially with our higher calling and our higher purpose, we often look at what that was for our parents, and it's conditioned into us that then that is our higher calling, that is our higher purpose. And so it's almost like, for example, with my relationship with my family, I learned from my mom that like working and showing up for other people came before showing up for myself. And it was how other people needed me versus how I wanted to show up. And so I've had to sort of step back and be like, am I doing this for myself, or is this based on the needs of other people? There is no sacrifice in service. So this means that we are rewriting our beliefs around how we show up and how we act in our mission, in our soul purpose. There's no sacrifice. When you're living your mission, it's not sacrificing anything except for maybe fear. And it's fully embodying your passion, your purpose, what makes you happy, as well as being able to show up and serve other people in whatever way. And so we're re-examining the contracts that we've had with our parents and the beliefs that we've had with our parents. Contracts are getting completely rewritten at a soul level. They're clearing. So our contracts are our beliefs that we have picked up and that we have agreed to live by. We've agreed that, okay, this is my truth and this is what is true and this is what I'm attracting into my space and this is who I am. And so during this period, it's shaking up a lot of, and moving into this eclipse phase, we've been shaking up a lot of that internal space, and which has left many kind of being like, oh my gosh, I feel depressed. I feel lost, I feel scared, I don't have the answers, I don't have the clarity, I don't feel connected. But are you really feeling that way? Or do you just feel like you can no longer define yourself by what you have? Can you no longer define yourself based on something outside of you? Your job, your appearance, your friendships, your relationships, your location, all of that. And so this is definitely shaking us up internally in our belief system around who we are. This is a complete surrender and total rejuvenation and regeneration of who we are. It's stripping away all of the beliefs that are not actually our core beliefs, and all of the karmic energies with Saint Germain coming through and Lady Portia coming through to assist us during this time, so that we can see ourselves, our true selves, clearly. It's almost like a big reinvention phase where a lot of people are going to be identifying, this is no longer working, this is no longer working, this is no longer working. Where have you been settling? Because this is going to shake that up big time, and it's going to show you where you have been settling for less than what you want in your life, and where you have thought that it's not possible to have all of your desires. So that comes with money too, how you make money, your job, your career. A lot of people, we have Pluto transiting the 10th house, and that's been happening for a while, which is transformation, change, death, rebirth. 10th house is our higher mission, soul purpose, and our sort of like work in terms of like soul work. And so, we're going through the transformation and how we show up in our soul missions and our soul purposes, and that's coming through with this time in this eclipse season as well. And primarily with this week, it's going to be really illuminating what we've already done and kind of clearing this pathway. Are you ready to go on this internal journey now to begin to seek internally what it is that lights your soul and your heart on fire, rather than looking at externally to see what's already being done, to see where you can try and fit? That's kind of the energy this week with this eclipse and career and how it's shaking it up. And limiting beliefs around career and what you want to do, traditional values getting shaken up really strongly at that root and at that core. And we're having to redefine our values and our beliefs based upon who we authentically are. That takes some time. That takes some time for us to sort of transition into. And so it's going to be a transitional phase for sure, but expect the unexpected, but always expect the best, because no matter where you are or where you've been during this time of transition, things are always working out for you. Things are going to be working out in big ways that you probably didn't expect because you were so focused on it happening this way. So you have to break down these walls and barriers around the limiting beliefs of what's possible or where you want to go or where you think you should go in order to expand outward into seeing what's actually been trying to come through. So that expansion is going to be a huge theme for this week with this eclipse. And we're going to be working with this energy continuously. It's going to evolve, it's going to grow, it's going to build beyond just these next couple of months and into the end of the year. And with that being said, with Green Tara coming back through as well, and these contracts and these limiting beliefs, we have been coming up. What has been coming up? Look back to 2003. What started to trigger you then? Where were you in 2003? What were the major triggers, major lessons, major things that were coming up for you in 2003, if you can remember? So for example, for me, I was being brutally bullied in 2003 and trying to fit in so badly, didn't know my place, didn't know how to speak up for myself. I had friends, like I didn't not have friends, like I wasn't a loser, but in my head, I was, no one's ever a loser. We're all winning in our own way. But the people that were wanting to be my friends were very unique. We're very different. We're very diverse. And I wanted to be a part of this main group, this main space. And I was brutally bullied and I was outcasted. And I mean, brutally bullied. Like it was really bad. And I would eat my lunch in the bathroom, and that was this beginning of this huge cycle of feeling unworthy, feeling unloved, feeling like I was not a part of, that I didn't fit in, that I was too weird or too different to fit in. And then we're going to look at sort of what's also coming up is the repeated cycle. So from 2003, and then what was showing up again in 2012. 2011, 2012. What showed up again that ties back to what was happening in 2003, in 2012. So in 2012, that limiting belief of I'm not worthy enough, I don't fit in anywhere. I was isolated, I was sick. I was going through, the only person that I felt like understood me is he died during this period. So it was a major transition for me. I was going through a big awakening. My senses started opening up. I was trying to go down this very traditional path in school, and it was so frustrating because I just wanted to quit and I didn't want to do it. And yet I had zero idea what I would really want to be doing. I wanted to be in music. I was kind of in that space, but like didn't know how to appropriately be in that space. There was all this uncertainty, all this unknown. And because of that, I turned on my own self again. And I was like, I don't fit in anywhere. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not creative enough. And I was sick on top of that. I had huge solar plexus issues. And like long-term chronic illness issues at the time because I didn't believe in myself. And when we don't, those beliefs that start in our head, they manifest as physical ailments and problems. And we have been working physically with those ailments as well, collectively, to purge them out and release them. And so it started to happen then for me in 2000. It came back around, the same worthiness, fitting in, not having friends, not feeling a part of, that came in again for me in 2012. So that is what we have been looking back on in that karma. And so what is coming up now? What is replaying? These situations that are coming up to us now are clearing those limiting beliefs so we can finally accept what was wanting to come through to us. So using my examples, okay, I've been trying to fit in and go the straight and narrow, but maybe that's not the way that I'm supposed to go, very clearly. Maybe that's not the way that I'm supposed to go. There was another pathway. Maybe there's more for me. There is more for me. There's more for all of us. That's trying to open up now, and I'm trying to, again, stay on this straight and narrow. This is what I do. This is who I am, and trying to fit into this thing, this box. And again, the universe is shaking me up to break those walls down so I can expand again. But looking back on those times, 2003, what began at that time what trauma, what triggers were showing up, and then how did they reappear very strongly. It'll be very strong, like very big tower moments from 2003, and then where they showed up again, or where similar situations that triggered those emotional responses again in 2012. With this retrograde period, that's what we're going to be revisiting. We're going to kind of be picking up all of the pieces and understanding with greater clarity our path of where we have been, our triggers, our biggest triggers that showed up during those two periods, as a means of putting the pieces together to see our greatest gift and to see the path of where we're meant to go now, because our triggers are the gateway into our purpose, into our mission, into what we're here to embody. So the karma turns into the dharma during this period. So the karmic lessons that we have been learning show up again a little bit as a means of showing us how far we have come, as well as where we need to glue the rest of the pieces together to finish this cycle out, and then how they sort of transform into this pathway that's opening up to our life purpose. That is what dharma is. So Green Tara is coming through, Saint Germain's coming through, as well as Krishna's coming through as a means of recognizing our devotion to this path and the growth that we have accumulated throughout this process since 2003. We are closing that cycle. We are clearing the slate. We are clearing all of the past lives. A lot of that past life karma was tied to what occurred and what began in 2003 and what has been holding us back from this massive breakthrough that we've wanted. We also have Serapis Bay coming through. This is a huge rapid time of ascension. So a lot of people have had their third eye a little bit dim or closed at this time, and that's why we feel so depressed or unclear, lacking clarity of where to go, the indecisiveness, feeling disconnected, feeling like you can't trust your intuition. This is all about it's almost like shutting that down in order to clear out all of the rest of the old gunk that's prevented us from moving forward and the distractions, turning it back on, and then being like, this is the clear way, the clear path, and the space to go. But we needed to kind of shut this down so that we weren't so overwhelmed to integrate energy into the rest of our bodies, which is why a lot of us have been feeling tired, exhausted. The dream state's been crazy because we're purging a lot of that past life energy and relationship energy in our dream states right now as well. And so guys, don't worry, this is gonna come back on, and when it does, things are gonna be crystal freaking clear moving forward, because you cannot operate on the past any longer. Your past holds the keys and the lessons of what has been repeated in this lifetime. Those keys and those lessons are then the lessons and the trials and like the tribulations and the stories and the victim mentality, which is the polar side of Pisces energy, and the way that we overassert ourselves or like speak before thinking about things with that Gemini energy. All of these like polar traits are past life energy. So we're talking about, and I'm specifically talking about a lot of people who have their south node in astrology in Pisces, Gemini, or Sagittarius. We currently have the south node in Sagittarius and the north node in Gemini as a collective. So that's coming into the collective energy as well. So that is why we're needing to be mindful of that during this week and this time. Think before you speak, because we're removing all of those tendencies and those triggers that help us evolve. So we're wanting to be more conscious, which Sagittarius energy, Sagittarius eclipse, when it's in its evolved state, it's very conscious. It's very aware of how it impacts everything around it, and everything that it says and does is at a deeper level than just blurting things out. It takes a moment to pause and reflect before speaking. So definitely recommend that this week. We are jumping all over the place in Gemini fashion, but that is what's happening during this time and this energy. So there's so much happening, so much going on. And a lot of it's just releasing, clearing, getting everything out of the way, really like a deep power clean and an activation of us so that we can see our own eminent light again, so that we can see that pathway clearly, because we are the light that we've been waiting for. So if you've been feeling disconnected in this dark hole, you've needed to choose yourself again. Also, we are being asked to release this need to, it's almost like a lot of people haven't been seeing themselves clearly for a while, and then they're trying to look externally to like validate who they are. and what they're here to do. And even in the spiritual space, like searching in on these books, or like going to this reader and this energy reader, and like seeking out all these readings and all these other people. It's like we're being asked to release that. We're being asked to release needing to seek externally. Kuthumi is coming through, and we have Artemis and Goddess Diana also coming through during this time. And they're really assisting us with being able to see who we are and where we are at and what we truly want, and to aim our sights higher, to know and believe that we came here to embody anything and everything that we want, and that we have been playing small because we haven't seen our own highest potential, and we haven't believed in our own highest potential because we have been down here with what's already going on and what's already happening, and trying to fit in this box and this box and this box and this box and this box. And that is where the role of Saturn retrograde in Aquarius comes into play with this energy. It's revisiting things, reviewing things as a means of being able to find and create our own identity, own sense of self uniquely, and our own path that is uniquely designed for us. This is a major time of unique blueprint activations. While these activations are happening, the walls are going to be coming down. You're going to be shedding the layers, like we've mentioned, that have remained as this wall from you being able to actually achieve what you want. Maybe you've started to go down a career path and you're like, it's okay. You've seen a little bit of success with it and you're like, it's all right, but it's not the next level thing. Okay, it's time to go to that next level thing. And if we don't know what it is, that's okay. Just start removing the needing to search externally, removing the dust, removing the clutter, removing, anything that's not true. With this Gemini energy and the Sagittarius energy happening together, Gemini is really good at like sifting through things quickly, going from this to this to this to this to this to this to this. Sagittarius energy is really good about diving into the truth of everything. So we are sifting through all of the illusions. We're sifting through all of the different timelines, all the different past lives, and we're able to say, that's true, this is not true, this is true, this is not true. We're in kind of like a sorting simulation phase. So where we're having to let go of everything that has blocked and prevented us. So ask yourself, is this where I want to be going? Are these the people that are going to be, are these people the people that I want to be hanging out with when I'm envisioning this higher version of myself in my life? If no, clear, let it go. Are these the beliefs that my higher self, living this life that I've envisioned for myself, would wake up having? No, change the beliefs. This is also asking us to release judgment and the indecisiveness, as well as the discord and disconnection between our masculine and feminine energies. This is very strongly centered around the masculine and the feminine energies, because the whole point of this process is about coming into union within ourselves. This is all about the masculine and feminine energies within us coming into balance, in harmony, so that we are whole and we are one internally within our individual sense of self and expression. Once we all begin to create that trajectory of wholeness within, that is when worlds outside of us can merge and unify, and there can be this bridge and establishment between other higher spiritual planes and our earth and planet, and we can seek this ascension or this evolution that so many are talking about at this time, and we can actually progress without this all of this trauma and all of the wounds and all of the things coming up and being picked and protesting and this and this and this, because that's the purging. And not to dismiss it at any by any means, but that's the purging that's happening. And when we learn to come into this higher perspective of union within ourselves, that's when the union, the peace, the harmony happens in our outer world, and we are actually able to unify collectively in this reality. So that's what we're being asked to release. The mental space for the masculine right now, a lot of overthinking, overanalyzing, overplanning, trying to plan everything, trying to move forward, push things ahead, feeling like you're on a time clock, feeling this pressure to get things done, and then not like just doing things irrationally, just pushing things forward without thinking about it, just saying things without thinking about it. Whereas, it's very like kind of childlike energy, where it's like when a child wants something, they don't ask. Like a lot of the times when they're younger, they don't ask like, I want that, unless they are taught, and I have seen a lot of kids just go over to another kid and grab the toy that they had out of their hand, and they're like, yeah, it's my toy now, no big deal. And so that's the masculine energy right now. It's like, I want that, okay, I'm going to get it. And then it doesn't work out. And the reason it's not working out is because you're in disharmony with the feminine. The feminine is the receptive, passive flow energy. We're coming into this energy and needing to bridge this energy in the age of Aquarius. This is where the age of Aquarius is ramping up, and we're going to be working with this energy that's taking us into huge, beautiful paradigm shifts with the new year, because this is the energy that we will be in and remain in an evolutionary state again until the end of the year. So this is the big kickoff party that's like, hey, let's shake up all this crap and get things going so we can go upwards and onwards in a unified fashion. The age of Aquarius is bridging the scientific mindset with the creative mindset and the arts. So the masculine energy and the feminine energy, again, the main theme of this time, and especially this week, which is where the parent energy and our family energy roots is also coming through as well, because we learn that dynamics and the understanding of what is masculine or what is feminine, and a lot of that wounding comes from our upbringing. So if you were in a house that was like, go get what you want and make sure you're planning it out and making sure you're cutting off your emotions to get to work and grind it out, you're gonna have a wounded masculine energy and be disconnected from your feminine. If you are in the wounded feminine, it is that you need to wait for somebody to come and save you, and you need other people to recognize you and show up for you as a means of feeling confident moving forward with yourself or your plans. And feeling, and again, this would be the polar side of Pisces also, like codependency, feeling victim mentality, feeling helpless because you want somebody to do it for you, and like sleeping all day and expecting spirit to just miraculously change your life and having no action connected to that, making no movements, being too indecisive about it, too emotional about it. And so that would be the wounded feminine and the neglect of the masculine energy. You have to have both. The law of attraction, which is feminine, goes with the law of action, which is masculine. So we have to bridge those two. And a lot of what we've learned in childhood can show us where we have learned the disconnects. And that is why relationships of all kind, relationship to work, relationship to our home, our living space, and our worth and our friendships and, romantic relationships, all of that we've talked about is coming into focus, because where there's discords with that right now that are being revealed will show you where you're in your wounded masculine or your wounded feminine. So this is about bringing harmony and unity to that space and noticing from a higher perspective and awareness where you've remained out of alignment with that unity of your energies. Okay, so that's where we're being asked to release the indecisiveness, the overthinking, the just the drama, really. A lot of the times we get so addicted to our own suffering, we can't see ourselves and where we're going clearly because we're just in the suffering. So this is asking us to release that. The gossip and just superficial tendencies coming through as well to be released. And then what we're stepping into is things are moving really quickly. We're stepping into this unity between the masculine and the feminine energies. That in itself is bringing so much manifestation and forward movement for other people. Travel, people are connecting to the earth grids at this time to do a lot of grid work. If you resonate with that term, great. You're probably already like, all right, I'm on the run here. But with Saturn retrograde, a lot of people could be wanting to travel, but the clarity or the pathway isn't very clear. And that's going to be becoming more clear as we move into the depths of eclipse season. So you might rapidly, unexpectedly end up relocating homes, relocating family, relocating your families. And again, these home locational situations are going to be coming into strong play with this eclipse energy as well. So if you're not in the right space where you need to be, changes are coming. So being flexible with that as well. But there's going to be this balance and this, it's almost like we're entering into and stepping into, being asked to step into out of hermit mode and into the world as a means of taking action now, because we've been receiving, integrating, and kind of pulling away. A lot of people have been in their hermit mode for sure, and like not feeling really called to like get out in the world very much. And now it's like things are moving. Things are going to be moving very quickly, suddenly, rapidly, unexpectedly, and manifesting. If you get that work out of the way, when that union between your masculine and your feminine, which would also be significant of a Kundalini awakening and rising, which is the two snakes at the base of at the root and coming in. So for a lot of people, this is going to be opening up sexual energy, which is creative energy, which we talked about in the last video as well. So we're still working with Kundalini energy, Lord Shiva coming through with that, Kali Ma coming through with that. Time of facing our fears, jumping off the cliff to see the adventure that life has for us, to finally receive the gifts of our bounty, and for all of this journey that we've gone through. A lot of us have been going down a deep road without any answers or any clarity or any insight, and it's like we're like, okay, am I there? And it's like, you know, what are you scared of? Stop covering your eyes, open them up. You know, you are the light bearer. It's your light that illuminates your path. So once you're connected to yourself and the wholeness of yourself with your union of masculine and feminine energies, things start going quickly. Things start manifesting very, very quickly. Just to close out the video and just for fun, because we love it. Hopefully you got everything in there, because there's just so much energy coming through. But just for fun, we're gonna pull some cards, see what other messages that may be coming through for you guys. Trick, if you do Oracle or Tarot, this clears your deck. And we always want to clear the deck. Tarot tip of the day. Yeah. Wow, things are just wanting to play out here. We're gonna do one card at a time, please. And like I said, you know. Okay, this is exciting. I'm excited. So first and foremost, we just have a lot of confirmational things here. As always, it just confirms what I already say. That's why I say I like to just use the cards for fun, because I can channel all day without them, but they add an extra element of beauty, art, and I love it, which is kind of where we're at right now. And they're fun. They add fun to it, you know? So we have the sound of the universe, and these cards are absolutely beautiful. So again, there's going to be a lot of messages, a lot of things coming through. There's going to be a lot of clarity, a lot of understanding. There's going to be a lot of, it's like when this center, our third eye, opens back up after clearing and integrating energies, it's like we're having all of the ideas come through, all of the insight, all of the inspiration plugging back through to us. And we're gonna be sort of moving through a lot of digesting sort of information and contact. You know, a lot of people are gonna be receiving messages, channeling, and like just intuition coming through loud and clear. Ear ringing is gonna be really strongly happening for a lot of people, because we're fine tuning. Pleiadians working with a lot of people right now on the throat chakra and the ears as a means of being able to serve their highest mission and purpose. So that is coming through. With that, there's just going to be a lot of things coming through, a lot of stimulation, so making sure we're grounded, again, which is why the Earth card is coming up, and why so many people are going to be called to connect with nature at a deeper level and awareness, and transmuting to new areas, spaces, and places. Relocations happening at a higher rate, because if you're not aligned with your environment, you're not aligned with your internal sense of self. We all have unique blueprints, and they're activated by certain environments, and if you're not in an environment that's supported by your unique blueprint, that could be the reason why you constantly feel like you're on this up and down roller coaster of like, I'm aligned, I'm not aligned, I'm aligned, I'm not aligned, I'm not aligned, I'm aligned, and so on and so forth, as well as discords within the relationships and friendships and jobs. So reconnecting to the earth, remaining grounded during this phase and space of like receiving all of this energy up through the crown, the third eye as well. I'm also getting that a lot of people are activating their soul star chakra during this time, which sits right above the head, and it's going to just be pouring a lot of information into the rest of the body and activating these new blueprints. This is what this time is about, activating the new blueprints, new codes, okay? The connectivity and understanding of the connectivity of all things and all of life, bridging the divine with the planetary realm. So bridging the divine with our planet and our earth, the masculine and the feminine. So it's all intrinsically connected with that. Clear audience opening up for a lot of people, as well as clear sentience opening up a lot with people during this time. So if you feel extra stimulated, extra sensitive, oversensory, unplug, deplug, get out in nature. And then we have endless opportunities, 23. I've been seeing this number a lot. We're also going to be seeing numbers 111, 404, 1010, 1212, 111. If you've been seeing those, that is an indication that you're clearing timelines at this time. There's like Libras coming through. Libras, I'm a Libra, but I don't know if I ever resonate with it anymore, but Libra energies are also coming through. Virgo energies are coming through. Gemini energies definitely coming through. And yeah, anyways, there's lots of timelines shifting, changing, rearranging. That's just there. And again, this is a collective read, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But these would be, okay, so we have all of these different opportunities, all of these different energies, all of these different people, all of these. It's almost like with this and this, it's almost like there's so much new stuff coming in, and there's also so much old stuff that we're reconnecting to with the retrograde phases. That and eclipses have a means of kicking up old energy as well, as a means of dispersing it and getting rid of it and clearing this pathway. So it's almost like there's so much coming through, so much happening, so much kind of coming through, so much popping up. So it could be like, oh, maybe I should go back to personal training, but also I've got this really big interest in neuroscience, but also I'm really interested in, and again, that's the Gemini energy as well. So wait a little bit to ground this energy. Make sure you are grounding, and connecting with nature, grounding your feet barefoot into the ground as a means of helping you just clear and ground the new energies and release the old energies. Magnesium salt baths will also help this as well. But yeah, there's just so much going on, so much coming in, twists and turns left and right. It's like something may look like it's coming in, but it's actually purging and being removed, and then the new thing actually comes into merge it. So there's like things coming and going all at the same time. Again, we just have to remain in our center. When we're grounded and centered in our truth, and we are in union within our masculine and feminine energies within ourselves, we have this clear centerized vision of like where we centerized, is that a word? I don't know. The Gemini is getting me. We have a clear center of like who we are, what we want, where we're going in the higher timeline with that goddess Diana, Artemis energy coming through. So stay focused on what you want. Don't get caught up in what's clearing or the other options that are coming up. Do you want this? Is it the highest version of what you've envisioned for yourself? If no, let it go, release it. Don't be scared that something else is not going to come through, because there's lots coming through. And that leads us to our last card, manifestation. This technically says manifestia. Very beautiful card. We love her. She kind of looks like a goldfish with this thing going on. And passion flower, butterfly, expansion. Okay, this one has butterflies too. We love butterflies. They are my spirit animal. Expansion. This is like, and again, coming out of hermit mode, we are moving. We went through a big, huge rebirth phase. And in that rebirth phase, it started with the Scorpio full moon, and it was a super moon, and that was the precursor to eclipse season. That was the preparation phase. Mark the prep phase. We've been in the prep phase. We've been in the prep tunnel, stripping away all the layers, moving into the past life stuff, purging even the past life stuff, so that we could come to the space of full expansion, completely anew. Look up the process of butterflies. Like, look up the process of the caterpillar actually moving into the butterfly. It's very interesting. It literally actually decomposes completely and entirely. It doesn't transform. It literally dies in order to become something new. And that's what we've literally had to move through. Now we're actually being able to see this light at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel. The pieces are going to be coming together. New options, new opportunities, new contracts are coming through. Relationships strongly at the forefront, again, coming through for a lot of people. If you are being if you are not being treated exactly as you want to be and desire to be, and if there are things that are bugging you within your relationship, one, use your throat chakra to speak up. If it's a constant issue that you've had to bring up over and over and over again, it's time to release those people, clear that space so you can receive, because there is energy wanting to be received. And in order to have that, we have to release. So are you doing the work to release what's no longer serving you to receive your highest timelines? Or are you holding on and clinging to old stuff, beliefs, people, relationships, jobs, because you don't understand what comes next? You have to take the first step to release things, and then as a means of being in the position to receive what you wanted. Even if you think you don't know what you wanted, your soul knows what it wants and knows the trajectory of what it's here to do in this lifetime without you needing to analyze and overanalyze it a million times. And it's wanting to happen now, especially with Krishna coming through. Krishna is this energy that praises us and gives us gifts in love and abundance for the devotion that we've paid to our faith and to walking our path. So there's huge karmic repayments coming through once we clear all this karmic energy out from our past lives, but you have to release it. Okay, don't get stuck in everything that's clearing if it's not totally you. Okay, there is big things coming through, a reawakening of creative energy, creative passion, and new creative projects. I'm seeing a lot of people beginning new work together, a lot of people working harmoniously together in groups. If you've been working alone and you feel like dead-ended and very just like dried, like just drained for a specific group, it's almost like you're needing to co-create and collab with other people. So if what you're doing, you still resonate with what you're doing, but you're lacking the motivation and the ideas now, or kind of hitting this dead end with it of like not knowing where to go with it, start creating with other people, start reaching out to other people and bringing other people into the process, because that's going to help propel it forward. Some people are moving and needing to just like, this is completely like wild card energy. So it's like complete and total revamp at a really soul deep level. We've gone and we've done this internal work. We've been doing the internal work even further. It's like a lot of people have been going through really rough times mentally and emotionally, because this is the clearing that needed to happen to finally have the things start coming through in our physical space. Things are still clearing, but this is a time of expansion, really great expansion. Facing our fears, because our fears are our triggers and they're literally the pathway. They literally line the pathway to your destiny. So trust yourself, trust your intuition. That's what this time is also all about, is honoring your own unique truth, but also honoring your own unique intuition and following it. Follow your intuition and don't question it, and see what happens. I love you. Happy eclipse season. I hope that you have a great week. Thank you again so much for tuning in and watching, and I will see you in the next video.